Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Welcome to today's live reading from Sri Caitanya Charitamrita. We will begin our reading from verse number 32 of chapter 2 of the Madhya Lila. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yat kripatam ham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Caitanya Ishwaram. Hari Om Tat Sat. Krishnera adharamrita Krishna guna charita Sudha sar swada vinindana tar swada ye na jane janmiya na maila kene se rasana bheka jiva sama. The nectar from the lips of Lord Krishna and his transcendental qualities and characteristics surpass the taste of the essence of all nectar, and there is no fault in tasting such nectar. If one does not taste it, he should die immediately after birth, and his tongue is to be considered no better than the tongue of a frog. Verse number 33. Mriga mada nilotpala milane ye parimal ye hare tar garvaman hena Krishna ang gandha yar nahi se sambandha sei nasa bhastrara samana. One's nostrils are no better than the bellows of a blacksmith if one has not smelled the fragrance of Krishna's body, which is like the aroma of musk combined with that of the bluish lotus flower. Indeed, such combinations are actually defeated by the aroma of Krishna's body. Verse number 34. Krishna kara padatala koti chandra shushitala tara sparsha yena sparsha mani tara sparsha nahi yar se yok Charakhar Sevapu Loha Samajani. The palms of Krishna's hands and the soles of his feet are so cool and pleasant that they can be compared only to the light of millions of moons. One who has touched such hands and feet has indeed tasted the effects of touchstone. If one has not touched them, his life is spoiled and his body is like iron. Verse 35. Kari eta vilapana Prabhu Shachinandana Ughadiya Hridayera Shoka Danya Nirveda Vishade Hridayera Avasade Punarapi Pade Eka Shloka. Lamenting in this way, Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu opened the doors of grief within his heart, morose, humble, and disappointed. He recited a verse again and again with a despondent heart. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the word Danya or humility is explained as follows. When unhappiness, fearfulness, and sense of having offended combine, one feels condemned. This sense of condemnation is described as dinata or humility. When one is subjected to such humility, he feels physically inactive, he apologizes, and his consciousness is disturbed. His mind is also restless, and many other symptoms are visible. The word Nirveda is also explained in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. One may feel unhappiness and separation, as well as jealousy and lamentation due to not discharging one's duties. The despondency that results is called Nirveda. When one is captured by this despondency, thoughts, tears, loss of bodily luster, humility, and heavy breathing result. Vishad is also explained in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. When one fails to achieve his desired goal of life and repents for all his offenses, there is a state of regret called Vishad. The symptoms of avasad are also explained. One hankers to revive his original condition and inquires how to do so. There are also deep thought, heavy breathing, crying and lamentation, as well as changing of the bodily color and drying up of the tongue. In the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, 33 such destructive symptoms are mentioned. They are expressed in words, in the eyebrows and in the eyes. These symptoms are called Vyabhichari Bhava, destructive ecstasy. If they continue, they are sometimes called Sanchari or continued ecstasy. Verse 36. Yada yato devan madhu ripur asau lochan patham tada smakam cheto madan hata kenaritam abhut punar yasmin esha kshanam api drishor eti padvim vidhasyamas tasmin akhila ghatika ratna khachitaha. If by chance the transcendental form of Krishna comes before me, my path of vision, my heart injured from being beaten, will be stolen away by Cupid, happiness personified, because I could not see the beautiful form of Krishna to my heart's content. When I see again his form, I shall decorate the phases of time with many jewels. This verse is spoken by Srimati Radharani in the Jagannath Vallabh Natak of Ramananda Rai. Verse 37. Ye kale va swapne dekhino vamsi vadane se kale aila duid vairi ananda ar madana hari neela mora mana dekhite na painu netra bhari. Whenever I had the chance to see Lord Krishna's face and his flute, even in a dream, two enemies would appear before me. They were pleasure and Cupid, and since they took away my mind, I was not able to see the face of Krishna to the full satisfaction of my eyes. Verse 38. Punah yadi kona kshana karaye Krishna darshana tabe se ghati kshana pala diya malya chandana nana ratna abharana alankrita karimu sakala. If by chance such a moment comes when I can once again see Krishna, then I shall worship those seconds, moments and hours with flower garlands and pulp of sandalwood and decorate them with all kinds of jewels and ornaments. Verse 39. Kshane bhaya haila mana age dekhe dui jana tandre puche ami na Caitanya swapna praya ki dekhinu kiba ami pralapinu tomar kichu shuniyacha denya. In an instant, Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu regains external consciousness and saw two persons before him. Questioning them, he asked, Am I conscious? What dreams have I been seeing? What craziness have I spoken? Have you heard some expressions of humility? When Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu thus spoke in ecstasy, he saw two persons before him. One was his secretary, Swarup Damodar, and the other was Ramananda Rai. Coming to his external consciousness, he saw them both present, and although he was still talking in the ecstasy of Srimati Radharani, he immediately began to question whether he was the same Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu. Verse 40. Shuna mora pranera bandhava nahi Krishna prema dhana daridra mora jivana Dehendriya Vritha Mora Sabha. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, My dear friends, you are all my life and soul, therefore I tell you that I possess no wealth of love for Krishna. Consequently, my life is poverty-stricken, my limbs and senses are useless. Verse 41. Punah kahe hai hai shuna swarup Rama Rai e mora hridaya nishchaya shuni karaha vichar haya naya Kahasara etabali shloka ucharaya. Again he addressed Swarup Damodar and Rai Ramanand, speaking despondently, Alas, my friends, you can now know the certainty within my heart, and after knowing my heart, you should judge whether I am correct or not. You can speak of this properly. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then began to chant another verse. Verse 42. Ka I avrahi pemam nahi hoi manushe loi jahi hoi kasa virahe hontami kojia e. Love of Godhead devoid of cheating propensities is not possible within this material world. If there is such love, there cannot be separation, or if there is separation, how can one live? Purport: this is a verse in common language called Prakrita, and the exact Sanskrit transformation is Kaitav Rahitam Prema Nahi Bhavati Manushya Loke Yadi Bhavati Kasya Virahe Sati Api Ko Jivati. Verse 43. Akaitava Krishna Prema Yena Jambu Nad Hema Sai Prema Nriloke Nahaya Yadi Haya Tara Vyoga Nahaya Tabhi Vyoga Vyoga Haile Keha Najiya. Pure love of Krishna, just like gold from the Jambu river, does not exist in human society. If it existed, there could not be separation. If separation were there, one could not live. Verse 44. Eta kahi sachisuta shloka pade adbhuta shune dunhe eka mana hana apana hridaya kaja kahite vasiya laj tabu kahi laj bija khana. Thus speaking, the son of Srimati Shachimata recited another wonderful verse, and Ramananda Rai and Swarup Damodar heard this verse with rapt attention. Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu said, I feel shameful to disclose the activities of my heart, nonetheless I shall be done with all formalities and speak from the heart. Please hear. Verse 45. Na prema gandho asti darapi me harau Kardami Saubhagya Bharam Prakashitum Vamsi Vilasi Anana Lokanam Vina Vibharmi Yat Prana Patangakan Vritha. Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu continued, My dear friends, I have not the slightest tinge of love of Godhead within my heart. When you see me crying in separation, I am just falsely exhibiting a demonstration of my great fortune. Indeed, not seeing the beautiful face of Krishna playing his flute, I continue to live my life like an insect without purpose. Verse 46. Dure Shuddha Prema Gandha Kapata Premera Bandha Seh Mora Nahi Krishna Paya Tabe Ye Kari Krandana Swasabhagya Prakhyapana Kari Iha Janiha Nishchaya. Actually, my love for Krishna is far, far away. Whatever I do, actually an exhibition of pseudo love of Godhead. When you see me cry, I am simply falsely demonstrating my great fortune. Please try to understand this beyond a doubt. Verse 47. Yate vamsi dhvani sukha na dekhi sach chand mukha yadyapi nahika alambana nij dehe kari priti kevala kamera riti prana kitera kariye dharana. Even though I do not see the moonlight face of Krishna as he plays on his flute, and although there is no possibility of me meeting him, still I like to take care of my own body. That is the way of lust. In this way, I maintain my fly-like life. Purport: in this connection, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that the lovable Supreme Lord is the supreme. The love of Supreme Lord is the supreme shelter. The Lord is the supreme subject and the devotees are the object. The coming together of a subject and object is called alambana. The object hears and the subject plays the flute. That the object cannot be moon-like face of Krishna, and the coming together of subject and object is called alambana. The object hears and the subject plays the flute. That the object cannot see the moon-like face of Krishna and has no eagerness to see him in the sign of being without alamban. Externally imagining simple thing, such a thing simply satisfied one's lusty desires, and thus one lives with purpose. Verse 48, Krishna prema sunirmala yena shuddha ganga jala se prema amritera sindhu nirmala se anurage na lokya anya dage shukla vastre yaiche masi bindu yache yaiche masi bindu. Love for Lord Krishna is very pure, just like the water of the Ganges. That love is an ocean of river. That pure attachment to Krishna does not conceal my spot, which would appear just like the spot of ink on a white cloth. Purport: unalloyed love of Krishna is just like a big sheet of white cloth. Absence of attachment is compared to the black spots on that of a white cloth. Just as a check of just as the black spot is prominent, so the absence of love of Godhead is prominent in the platform of pure love of Godhead. Verse number 49. Shuddha prema sukha sindhu pai tara ek bindu se bindu jagat dubaya kahi baar yogya naya tathapi baule kaya kahile vakeba patyaya. Unalloyed love of Krishna is like the ocean of happiness. If someone gets one drop of it, the whole world can drown in that love in that if one gets one drop of it, I'll repeat it again. Unalloyed love of Krishna is like ocean of happiness. If someone gets one drop of it, the whole world can drown in that drop. If it is not befitting to express such love of Godhead, yet a madman must speak. But even though he speaks, no one believes him. Verse number 50. E mata dine dine swarup ramananda sane nija bhava karena vidita bhaya vishya jwala haya Bhitare Anandamaya Krishna Premera Adbhuta Charita. In this way, Lord Caitanya used to revel in ecstasy day after day and exhibit these ecstasies before Swarup and Ramananda Rai. Externally, there appeared severe tribulation as if he were suffering from poisonous effects, but internally he was experiencing bliss. This is characteristic of transcendental love of Krishna. I'd like to repeat verse number 49 again. Shuddha prema sukha sindhu pai tar ek bindu se bindu jagat dubaya kahi bar yogya naya tathapi baule kaya kahile va kiba pathyaya. Unalloyed love of Krishna is like an ocean of happiness. If someone gets one drop of it, the whole world can drown in that drop. It is not befitting to express such love of Godhead, yet a madman must speak. but even though he speaks, no one can believe him. On verse number 50 again. E mata dine dine swarup ramananda sane निज भाव करे न विदिता बाह्ये विष ज्वाला हया भीतरे आनंदमय Krishna Premar Adbhut Charita. In this way, Lord Chaitanya used to revel in ecstasy day after day and exhibit these ecstasies before Swarup and Ramananda Rai. Externally, there appeared severe tribulation as if he were suffering from poisonous effects, but internally he was experiencing bliss. This is characteristic of transcendental love of Krishna. Verse 51. Ei prema aswadan tapta ikshu charavan mukha jwale na yay tyajana sei prema yanramane tar vikrama sei jane vishmarte vishamrite ektra milana. If one tastes such love of Godhead, he can compare it to hot sugar cane. When one chews hot sugar cane, his mouth burns, yet he cannot give it up. Similarly, if one has but a little love of Godhead, he can perceive its powerful effects. It can only be compared to poison and nectar mixed together. Verse number 52. Pidabhir navakal kuta katuta garvasya nirvasano nisyandena mudam sudha madhuri ma ahankara shankho chanaha prema sundari nandanandana paro jagrati yasyantare Gyanante Svutam Asya Vakra Madhuras Tainev Vikrantayaha. Translation. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke, my dear beautiful friend, if one develops love of Godhead, love of Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj, all the bitter and sweet influences of his love will manifest in one's heart. Such love of Godhead acts in two ways. The poisonous effects of love of Godhead defeat the severe and fresh poison of the serpent, yet there is simultaneously transcendental bliss which pours down and defeats the pride of nectar and diminishes its value. In other words, love of Krishna is so powerful that it simultaneously defeats the poisonous effects of a snake as well as the happiness derived from pouring nectar on one's head. It is perceived as doubly effective, simultaneously poisonous and nectarian. Purport. This verse is spoken by Pauranmashi to Nandimukhi in the Vidgadha Madhav 2.18 of Srila Rupa Goswami. Verse 53. Ye kale dekhe Jagannatha Shri Ram Subhadra Sath tabe jane Ailama Kurukshetra Safala Haila Jivana Dekhilun Padmalochana Judaila Tanu Mana Netra. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would see Jagannath along with Balram and Subhadra, he would immediately think that he had reached Kurukshetra, where all of them had come. He would think that his life was successful because he had seen the lotus-eyed one, whom, if seen, pacifies the body, mind, and eyes. Verse 54. Garudera sannidhane rahi kare darshane se anandera ki kahiba baile Garud stambhera tale ache eka nimna khale Se khal bharila ashru jale. Staying near the Garud Stambha, the Lord would look upon Lord Jagannath. What can be said about the strength of that love? On the ground beneath the column of the Garud Stambha, there was a deep ditch, and that ditch was filled with the water of his tears. Purport: in the front of the temple of Jagannath is a column on which the statue of Garuda is situated. It is called Garuda Stambha. At the base of that column is a ditch, and that ditch was filled with the tears of the Lord. Verse 55. Tahan haite ghare asi, matira upare vasi, nakhe khare prithvi likhana, haha kahan Vrindavan, kahan Gopendra Nandan, kahan se vamshi vadan. When coming from the Jagannath temple to return to his house, Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu used to sit on the ground and mark it with his nails. At such times he would be greatly morose and would cry, Alas, where is Vrindavan? Where is Krishna, the son of the king of the cowherd men? Where is that person who plays the flute? Verse 56. Kahan se tribhang tham, kahan se venu gan, kahan se yamuna pulina, kahan se ras vilas, kahan nritya geet has, kahan Prabhu Madan Mohan. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu used to lament by saying, Where is Krishna, whose form is curved in 3 places? Where is the sweet song of his flute? And where is the bank of Yamuna? Where is the rasa dance? Where is that dancing, singing and laughing? Where is my Lord Madan Mohan, the enchanter of Cupid? Verse 57. Utila nana bhava vega mane haila udvega kshana matra nare gunaite prabala virhanale dhairya haila talamale nana shlok lagila padite. In this way, various ecstatic emotions evolved, and the mind of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu filled with anxiety. He could not escape even for a moment. In this way, because of fierce feelings of separation, his patience began to totter and he began to recite various verses. Verse 58. Amuni adhanyani dinatarani hare tvad alokanam antarena anath bandho karunaika sindho ha hanta katham mayami. O my Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, O friend of the helpless, you are the only ocean of mercy. Because I have not met you, my inauspicious days and nights have become unbearable. I do not know how I shall pass the time. Purport: this is a verse from Krishna Karnamrita 41 by Bilvamangal Thakur. Verse 59. Tomar darshan vine adhanya e ratri dine ekal na yae katan tumi anathera bandhu apar karuna sindhu kripa kari deha darshana. All these inauspicious days and nights are not passing, for I have not met you. It is difficult to know how to pass all these time. But you are the friend of the helpless and an ocean of mercy. Kindly give me your audience, for I am in a precarious position. Verse 60. Utila bhava chapala mana haila chanchala bhavera gati bujhan na yaye adarshane pure mana kyemane pab darshana Krishna thani puchena upaya. In this way, the Lord's restlessness was awakened by ecstatic feelings and his mind became agitated. No one could understand what course such ecstasy would take, because Lord Chaitanya could not meet the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. His mind burned. He began to ask Krishna about the means by which he could reach him. Verse 61. Tvache Chaiswam Tri Bhuvanad Bhutam Iti Avehi Machapalam Chetava Va Mama Vadhigamyam Tata Kim Karomi Viralam Murali Vilasi Mugdham Mukhambujam Udikshitum Ikshanya Bhayam. O Krishna, O flute player, the sweetness of your early age is wonderful within these three worlds. You know my unsteadiness and I know yours. No one else knows about this. I want to see your beautiful, attractive face somewhere in the solitary place, but how can this be accomplished? Purport. This is another quote from Krishna Karnamrita 32 of Bilmangal Thakur. Verse 62, Tumara Madhuri Bala Tate Mora Chapala Edui Tumi Ami Jani Kahan Karon Kahan Yan Kahan Gele Tomapan Taha Mora Kahana Kahata Apani. My dear Krishna, only you and I know the strength of your beautiful features, and because of them, my unsteadiness now, this is my position. I do not know what to do, where to go. Where can I find you? I'm asking you to give directions. Verse 63. Nana Bhavera Prabalya Haila Sandhi Shabalya Bhave Bhave Haila Maharana Otsukya Chapalya Danya Roshamrisha Adi Sainya Premo Mada Sabar Karana. Rosha Amrisha means anger and patience. Translation: because of the various kinds of ecstasy, contradictory states of mind occurred, and this resulted in a great fight between different types of ecstasy. Anxiety, impotence, humility, anger, and impatience were all like the soldiers fighting, and the madness of love of Godhead was the cause. Purport: in the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, it is stated that when similar ecstasies from separate causes meet, they are called Swarup Sandhi. When opposing elements meet, whether they arise from a common cause or different causes, their conjunction is called Bhinna Rupa Sandhi. The meeting of contradictory ecstasies, the simultaneous joining of different ecstasies, fear and happiness, regret and happiness is called meeting or Sandhi. The word Shabalya refers to different types of ecstatic symptoms combined together, like pride, despondency, humility, remembrance, doubt, impatience caused by insult, fear, disappointment, patience, and eagerness. The friction that occurs when these combine is called Shabalya. Similarly, when the desire to see the object is very prominent, or when one is unable to tolerate any delay in seeing the desired object, the incapability is called Autsukya or eagerness. If such eagerness is present, one's mouth dries up and one becomes restless. One also becomes full of anxiety, and hard breathing and impatience are observed. Similarly, the lightness of heart caused by strong attachment and strong agitation of the mind is called impotence or chapalya. Failure of judgment, misuse of words, and obstinate activities devoid of anxiety are observed. Similarly, when one becomes too angry at the other party, offensive and abominable speech occurs, and this anger is called rosha. When one becomes impatient due to being scolded or insulted, the resultant state of mind is called amarsha. In this state of mind, one perspires, acquires a headache, fades in bodily color, and experiences anxiety and an urge to search out the remedy. The bearing of a grudge, aversion, and chastisement are all visible symptoms. Verse 64. Matta Gaja Bhavagana Prabhura Deha Ikshu Vana Gaja Yudhe Vanera Dalana Prabhura Haila Divyonmada Tanu Manera Avsada Bhava Veshe Kare Sambodhana. The body of the Lord was just like a field of sugarcane into which the mad elephants of ecstasy entered. There was a fight amongst the elephants, and in the process, the entire field of. So we were reading the translation. The body of the Lord was just like the field of sugarcane into which the mad elephants of ecstasy entered. There was a fight amongst the elephants, and in the process of the entire field of sugarcane was destroyed. This transcendental madness was awakened in the body of the Lord, and he experienced despondency in mind and body. In this ecstatic condition, he began to speak as follows. Hey Deva, this is verse 65. Hey Deva, hey Daita, hey Bhuvanaika Bandhu, hey Krishna, hey Chapala, hey Karunaika Sindhu, hey Nath, hey Ramana, hey Nayana Bhiram, ha kada nu bhavitasi padam drishor me. O my Lord, O dearest one, O only friend of the universe, O Krishna, O restless one, O only ocean of mercy, O my Lord, O my enjoyer, O beloved to my eyes, alas, when will you again be visible to me? Purport, this is text 40 of the Krishna Karnamrita. Verse 66. Unmadera Lakshana Karaya Krishna Sfurana Bhavaveshe Uthe Pranaya Mana Sulunta Vachanariti Mana Garva Vyaj Stuti Kabhu Vinda Kabhu Va Sammana. The symptoms of madness served as an impetus for remembering Krishna. The mood of ecstasy awoke love, disdain, defamation by words, pride, honor, and indirect prayer. Thus Sri Krishna was sometimes blasphemed and sometimes honored. Purport, the word Unmad is explained in the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu as extreme joy, misfortune, and bewilderment in the heart due to separation. Symptoms of Unmad are laughing like a madman, dancing, singing, performing ineffectual activities, talking nonsense, running, shouting, and sometimes working in contradictory ways. The word pranaya is explained thus: when there is possibility of receiving direct honor but it is avoided, that love is called pranaya. Srila Rupa Goswami in his Ujjvala Nilmani explains the word mana as when the lover feels novel sweetness by exchanging hearty loving words but wishes to hide his feelings by crooked means. Mana is explained. Verse 67. Tumi deva krida rata bhuvanera nari yata tahe kara abhishta kridana tumi mor daita mote Vaise tomar chitta mora bhagye kaile agamana. In the attitude of Radharani, Sri Chaitanya Mahāprabhu addressed Krishna: My dear Lord, you are engaged in your pastimes and you utilize all the women in the universe according to your desire. You are so kind to me. Please divert your attention to me, for by fortune you have appeared before me. Bhuvanera Nari Gana Sabha कर आकर्षण ताहान कर सब समाधान तुम्ही कृष्णा चित्त हर आइछे को ना पामर तुम्हारे वाकेबा करे मान. My dear Lord, you attract all the women of the universe and you make adjustments for all of them when they appear. You are Lord Krishna and you can enchant everyone, but on the whole you are nothing but a debauchee who can honor you. Verse 69. तुम्हार चपल मति एकत्र न हय स्थिति ताते तुम्हार नाही किछु दोष तुमी तक करुणा सिंधु आमार प्राण बंधु तुमाय नाही मोर कभु रोष. My dear Krishna, your mind is always restless. You cannot remain in one place, but you are not at fault for this. You're actually the ocean of mercy, the friend of my heart. Therefore, I have no reason to be angry with you. Verse 70. Tumi nath vraja prana vrajera kara paritrana बहु कार्ये नाही अवकाश तुम्ही आमार रमण सुख दिते आगमन ए तोमार वेदाग्ध्य vilas. Mighty Lord, you are the master and the life and soul of Vrindavan. Kindly arrange for the deliverance of Vrindavan. We have no leisure hours away from our many activities. Actually, you are my enjoyer. You have appeared just to give me happiness, and this is one of your expert activities. Purport: the word Vedagdhya means that one is very expert, learned, humorous, cunning, beautiful, and skilled in manifesting caricatures. Verse 71. Mora Vakya Ninda Mani Krishna Chadi Gela Jani Shuna Mora e Stuti Vachana Nayanera Abhiram Tumi Mora Dhana Prana Haha Punaha Deha Darshana. Taking my words as defamation, Lord Krishna has left me. I know that he is gone, but kindly hear my prayers in praise. You are the satisfaction of my eyes. You are my wealth and my life. Alas, please give me your audience once again. So we'll continue reading from verse 72 onwards next time. Thank you for joining. Such a beautiful reading it was today. The mood of exact mood of Mahaprabhu, how he appeared in the mood of Srimati Radharani. Krishna in the mood of Srimati Radharani. This is still continuing. We'll continue it next time as well. Thank you for joining. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami ki Jai. Shri Prabhupada ki Jai.